Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Kal Halal Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. A salutation to you, Akin, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Alright, I just wanted to do kind of like a part two to my first video there on about North Carolina. Basically, I'm gonna name this this video "Who Shall Rouse Them Up?" You know, I'm gonna start off with this article here on the North Carolina incidents. You know, because North Carolina, if you don't know, it's in a state of emergency. Has been declared in a state of emergency. Um, this is, it says Charlotte protests governor North Carolina declares state of emergency. Uh, I'm gonna say this is what I'm gonna. It says here. Let me jump here. It says protesters lost and regained and then lost territory again into the night, and eventually started flinging wine bottles and at least one Molotov cocktail at the lines of police. Um, Once protesters threw bottles, police started firing orange plastic bottles filled with white powder. The shots, which made the sound of automatic gunfire, scattered crowds before they gradually reformed. Police wore the police wore the now familiar riot gear. You know, because they have all this new gear. These police officers. The now familiar riot gear that has led some to criticize the militarization of law enforcement. But the North Carolina, home to numerous military bases and veterans, police found themselves squaring off more than against former soldiers who had their own tactics and gear. You know, this is a comment. It says from one of the Drakes, I assume. It says they're treating us like we're in a war zone, said protester Sage Lawson. Okay, 24 of Reedville, North Carolina. Wednesday was his 1 year anniversary of leaving the military. He said, "We couldn't do this to people in Afghanistan. They can snatch people. They can snatch people out of a crowd and just throw them in a van. We couldn't do that in the war." So Jake's getting roused up, man, because you got this whole thing going on about Colin Kaepernick. For all you who don't know who he is, he's an NFL player for the 76ers, 49ers, slack it, for the 49ers, and he's kneeling at the anthem, and now he's getting ridiculed for it, man. But Jake's coming up, Jake's slowly getting roused up, like it spoke about in the prophecies. All right, and that's because they're finally realizing that these other nations, no one cares for them. The only people that care, the only people that gotta care for them is themselves now. You know, um, Chris Brown followed in his action and started kneeling at the American flag or American anthem. And you got other Jakes around the world who are doing the same. So Jake's slowly getting roused up. So the prophecies are being manifested right in front of you. This is Genesis. We just real quick here. Genesis 49 and 8, and it says, "Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise, and thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the necks of thy enemies." It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen soon. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. Judah is you so-called Negroes. It says, "Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he crouched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up?" You see? So right now, you had a time where Jake was, Jake's a lion, okay? Judah's a lion, and they were crouched down, like an old lion, out of shape. Can't really do much, can't get fierce no more. So that's what Israel was like at one point. You Negroes were like at one point. But now you're starting to make noise, huh? You're starting to cause problems. You're starting to realize that Esau is your enemy. These so-called white people are your enemy, man. You got Jake not giving a pledge of allegiance to the American anthem. You got all these riots happening in all over America, especially in North Carolina, which has um, in turn uh, uh, caused a state of emergency in North Carolina. And need I remind you, that's what's happening in the country of Venezuela. That whole country is in a state of emergency, man. So that's coming already. It's already being manifested and shifting over to North America. All right. That means us down here in Canada, we're gonna get it too. It's only a matter of time. And Barakatah Yahweh Shimi al Shad for that too. Because the sooner that happens, the sooner we get up out of here. Those of us that are of the elect. All right. Out of this wicked kingdom. This is Lamentations 1:21, and it says, "They have heard that I sigh. Um, there is none to comfort me." And see, and that's the mentality Jake's starting to have now. They understand because you Negroes will cry and yell and scream that they're killing you off. You're unarmed. Don't hands up. Don't shoot. All these different protests. But guess what? The so-called white man keeps shooting you down. Okay, so it says, "They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my troubles. They are glad that thou hast done it." Because at the end of the day, Esau is a whooping stick for us Israelites, man. And these Jakes that are getting shot down are, in the end of the day, are 2/3. And it's actually judgment from the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and his son. Okay? So those 2/3 are actually just getting their judgment for being wicked. Most of those 2/3, heck, all those 2/3, more all those 2/3 are getting shot down have came across the truth once or twice in their lifetime, and they either scoffed at it or ignored it, man. So that was they have received their consolation for that. Okay, it says, uh, "Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me." And that's what we're waiting for, man. Where this whole kingdom gets flipped upside down, and we're on top, and we're ruling, and Esau's our slave, and these other nations, man. Okay, it says, "Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me for all my transgressions, for my sighs are many, and my heart is faint." Okay, here, this is Lamentations 1:1, and it says, "How doeth the city sit solitary that was full of people? How is she become as a widow?" And a widow is a woman that has no husband. And who's our bride? And who's our bridegroom? If I'm not mistaken, our well, who's our groom? If I'm not mistaken, is Yahweh Shai. Because we're bid to the marriage of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And now we're widows right now. Well, the elect are still in contact with Yahweh Bashim Shai, but the other nation, the 2/3 of Israel are widows. I mean, as a whole, we're all widows, so the Lord is not really 100% whole with us right now, because we're wicked. It says, "She that was great among the nations, and princesses, and prince among the provinces. How is she become tributary? She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers she has none to comfort her. That's talking about Israel, man, because Israel's also likened unto a woman. The scripture tells you that Israel is also likened unto a woman, and right now we're in the midst of all these other nations, and none of them are coming to our aid. None of them are comforting us, okay, because they don't care. And it says, and her tears are on her cheek. Among all her lovers she has none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are becomes they are become her enemies. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction, but because of affliction, and because of great servitude, she dwelleth. See, it talks about Judah, but it refers to her as a she. Okay, so it says, and because of, so I can read that again, verse 3. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathens. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between their straits. Between the straits. And that's what's happening right now, man. Okay, we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom of this thing, of this kingdom, and it's set up that way because we went off serving other gods back in the day. But we're coming close to the end of our punishment. Okay, for our judgment, because this is our judgment. The way we live, this is our judgment, and we're coming to the end of that soon. So the Lord is gonna flip things around soon. All right, we're gonna have Israel's gonna be in their right minds first and foremost, and we're gonna have Esau and these other nations that are slave, and they're gonna be in rigorous slavery, especially Esau, for 1,000 years, and then we're gonna take all you Edomites, all you so-called white people, and burn you up. Have an Edomite cookup, so to speak. There'll be no more so-called white people on this planet. Okay, your spirit's gonna come back in the heathens, but there'll be no more of that color, because that's a curse. All right. So with that, I'm gonna close up, and I'm gonna say, Ka Halal Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to Yakin pushing this word in true sincerity. Okay. Stay up for you brothers who are in this truth, man, and stay in the spirit. All right. Shalom.